Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Joanne, and in this video I want to share with you my whole POLENE collection, which is only 3 bags, so it's really small. However, I thought I would take this chance as well to give you a quick update in terms of the wear and tear of the older 2 bags that I have, as well as comment a little bit on the price increase that has happened at the beginning of January and whether or not I think POLENE bags are still worth the money. So first off, I recently just picked up this. This is the Neuf Mini in the color Sandalwood. I just posted a review on this, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, and obviously I haven't had this for very long. So I'm happy to say that I haven't seen any wear on this, which is good seeing as I've only had this for a really short amount of time. But aside from that, I think this is a wonderful bag so far, and I haven't had any issues carrying it around. So moving on, I purchased the Beri here in the color taupe, and I got this at the end of 2021, and so far I've used this a ton. And honestly, like a previous video that I did in terms of wear and tear, I still have not seen a ton at all. So I'm really happy to say that there's no color transfer, there's no major scratches or anything like that that I can see. Of course, on the hardware, there's definitely some scratches going on, and honestly, that is to be expected for any sort of hardware, but especially because it's such a big area for it to come into contact, I'm not surprised that it does have those hairline scratches, but it's nothing too over the top for me. There's also no like pop stitches or anything like that. One thing that I have noticed that I forgot to mention, I think in the last video, but I do notice that the knots on the adjustable strap, they don't have the best hold. So I have noticed after a few wears of the bag, this knot start to kind of move, and so I do have to readjust after every few wears. So that is just a heads up if you're thinking about purchasing the Beri. And aside from that, I think the most wear or changes to the bag that I've noticed is actually the handles. So as you can see, if I flip it on the top, you'll see that it is now not perfectly symmetrical. It's almost mirrored. So when I first purchased this bag, the handles were identical, completely kind of straight like that, I would say. And now as I've worn it, I've noticed that it's kind of lopsided. So you'll see on this side, it kind of curves in a little bit more. And on this side, it comes out a little bit. On this side, this part is a little bit tucked in, and then this side comes out a little bit more. And I think the reasoning for that might be because of the closure, because as you can see, in order to open it, you just slide it in and out. But I think that pressure and how it closes might influence how this bend or this curve is forming on the handle. So that is just a quick heads up for me. I think that's probably the most wear and tear or changes to the bag that I've seen. I kind of just live with it, and it's really not too big of a deal. So moving on to my last bag, this is the mini set, and it is in the color chalk. And so I also purchased this in 2021, and so far, honestly, I haven't worn this too much. I think I've only worn this maybe a handful of times, but I do really love the look of this bag, so I don't foresee this leaving my collection anytime soon. And it's honestly a fantastic bag for events or more dressy occasions, so that is when I do carry it out. And likely the reason why I haven't worn it too much is because I don't have that many events or things to go to, and I also do have other bags that I can choose. And so for that reason, I can't quite comment on the wear and tear because I have worn it that little of times. However, for the amount that I have worn it, I'm happy to say that I also have not seen really any wear and tear. So there's no like major creasing. Even on the opening, there isn't really any creasing where this folds on the leather when you open it. There are no major scratches, no pop stitches, and no color transfer as well, even though this is a very light bag. Although I don't think I've really worn this with jeans anyways. Usually I have kind of like trousers on or a dress of some sort, so I find those usually don't do much color transfer anyways on any sort of bag. The one thing that I do want to mention, and I have mentioned this in previous videos as well, is definitely the wear on the clasp. In terms of like the scratches and wear and tear like that, this actually has minimal scratches, and again, I haven't worn it that many times, so that kind of makes sense. However, it actually came like this, but I did notice when it came, it had this kind of weird discoloration. So as you can see here, the gold coating almost seems like it's been scratched off, and it actually came like that. So I was a little bit worried that it would get worse, and I'm happy to say that it hasn't gotten worse, but that is definitely something a little bit weird with this particular closure. But on all my other bags, I haven't had any issues with the hardware, so I think this might just be a weird one-off, or maybe something happened when they were installing it and it got really scratched. But it's not like a normal kind of scratch, wear and tear sort of situation. It looks like the coating was just slightly removed from the clasp, but otherwise there are no issues with this particular bag. So quickly now, in terms of the price increase, this happened across, I think, all of their bags at least, and this happened at the beginning of January. And to my knowledge, there was no announcement anywhere about this increase, and so I think a lot of people are upset about it, and I'd say the increase actually has been quite substantial. So for me, I've witnessed, I think at least for the last few years, I'm pretty sure they have had a price increase around the beginning of the year. So I actually had a feeling when I purchased this bag in particular at the end of December 2023 that they would have another price increase, and sure enough, they did. So I totally understand how people are upset, especially if you were planning to purchase something and then overnight it jumps by like over $100. That is a tough pill to swallow, but for me, I wasn't actually particularly surprised, and so for that reason, that did influence my reasoning for purchasing it, even though it seemed to have quite a big lead in terms of the pre-order time. So at the time when I ordered this in December, it said it would ship out in February. However, it did end up shipping out at the beginning of January, so I didn't have to wait that long. And so for me, in general though, I do still think it's worth it. From the bag that I just recently received, as well as the two other bags in my collection, I think the overall quality is fantastic, and I do think it's worth the current price. I'm not sure about, further price increases to a point where maybe it reaches the, high hundreds, even reaching $1,000. At that point, I think then I would have to reevaluate in terms of what I deem is worth the price. I don't think maybe the brand value is there to justify such a big price. But at the moment, like I mentioned, I love the brand, I love their aesthetic, I love their bags and their designs. Of course, I've heard tons of comments about really bad customer service, so that's definitely really unfortunate. I guess I can say I've been lucky though, and I actually have never had to deal with their customer service. So for me, I've had super smooth experiences from purchasing off their website to having the bags arrive and everything like that, and I haven't had any major issues. I think the only thing was that kind of weird discoloration or scratching of the clasp when it did arrive, but because you can't actually see it when it's closed and it's really only on the inside of the clasp, it really hasn't bothered me very much. Just a quick note about the price increases. So when I purchased this at the end of 2023, this was sitting at $420 US, and now it's $520 US. So it's a $100 jump, and literally overnight. So I can see how that would be shocking. In terms of the Beri and the Sept Mini, I purchased these in 2021. At the time, they were both $320 US, and now in 2024, they're currently $480 US. So as you can see, I think they have a pretty big price increase yearly, and so I'm kind of wondering what they'll do next year. So yeah, that is my current POLENE collection, and a really quick update in terms of the wear and tear for my older POLENE bags, and just a quick kind of commentary in terms of the price increase. Again, I do absolutely love the brand, so at the moment I do foresee myself purchasing more things from them in the future, but only time will tell, and who knows. But with that, I hope this video was helpful, and if you have any questions, definitely leave them down in the comment section and I'll try my best to answer them. But aside from that, thank you as always for taking the time to watch my videos, and to those that subscribe, I really appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.